So we're going to talk about the identification of a tire so that we get the right tire according to the tire placard on our door jamb. A lot of tire placards will tell us a specific tire size, will tell us the proper inflation pressures. And so when we buy tires for our rims, we need to get the correct size tire for our rim and the markings that will carry the amount of load for the vehicle. So we'll start with our tire size. So this is 195 millimeters, and what that represents is the width of the tire. So if I come over here now and I'm going to measure the width of the tire, I can see this is inches, this is metric measurements. It's from the top to the bottom, 195 millimeters. So from here to here is 195. The next number on this scale, the 195, is 65. So 65 is the aspect ratio or a percentage of the height. So this is 65%. Mathematically, that's 126.75 millimeters. And the way that is measured is across from where the bead is to the top of the tire. So if I go from the bead to the top of the tire, that's 126.75. So that's the height from here to here. The very last 3 digits here, R represents radial. So this is a radial construction tire. You'll see R for radial. If you don't see a number, it's probably a bias ply tire or maybe a trailer tire. And then 15 inch. This is not millimeter. This is in a standard unit measurement, 15 inch. So measuring from the bead to bead, we have 15 inches rim diameter. So this is a 15 inch rim that would fit this tire. So these numbers represent the size of the tire here. It's 195 wide, 65%, and radial construction 15 diameter. So if I'm buying a tire, I need to pay attention to these numbers. These are probably the most important numbers on the tire whenever I mount and dismount a tire. 91 is the rated load index. So 91 is the number they give us for loaded weight. How much can this tire hold in terms of weight of the vehicle? So this 91 is rated at 1,356 pounds. And the H is the speed rating. How fast is this tire capable of going? The H is rated up to 130 miles per hour. You may see on your tire M plus S, this is mud and snow. So this is a tire that will work good in mud and snow conditions. There may be where it's made. This is made in Thailand. And then there's a tubeless tire, so we don't have to have a tube. We can mount this to a rim and have air inside of it. We don't need to have an inner tube like some of the truck tires, for example, may require. When we move over here, you will see a DOT. This stands for Department of Transportation. There is usually some letters behind this. The first two represent the tire manufacturer plant code. So this was YC, the plant code wherever the manufacturer's plant is. And the AA is a tire size code. So plant tire, manufacturer plant code, and then the tire size code. And then the next four right here is the tire manufacturer. OPCR is the tire manufacturer, which makes the Crusade SXT. So they make this Crusade Tire SXT, this particular tire manufacturer. This is a steel belted radial R that we had representative over to here. Radial, you can see there's radial in both places. Next, we're going to see what the tire is made out of. So the tread ply is one polyester, two belts that are steel, and one nylon. So this is the tread right here. The tread right here is made out of that material. The sidewall, this is this section here. From here to here, that's the sidewall. This is one ply, which is polyester. So this tire could have 1, 2, 4, 6 plies of sidewall strength, and it will say what it's made from. The next thing we're going to look at is a lot of manufacturers will put the max load in numbers in kilograms. This is 615 kilograms or 1,356 pounds. And the maximum tire pressure, this is what the tire is designed to handle. Max tire pressure is 44 PSI. So you don't want to overinflate it. If you're using kilopascals, that's 300 PSI. At the top of the tire, there is a number here on treadwear, which is 500. Tire treadwear is represented in numbers varying from 200 being a low quality tread up to a higher number, for example, 500. The lower the number, the quicker the tire wears out on the tread. The higher the number, the longer the tire lasts. So this tire could be rated, for example, 60,000 miles. The next box over here is traction, and traction is rated with AA, A, B, and C. AA being the highest grade, A being a good grade, B being a okay, and C being the worst grade. So the traction on this tire is A, which is good. The very last box over here to the right is temperature. And temperature is also rated AA, A, B, and C. AA being the best. This one is rated A. So all these markings on the tire, all the numbers, all the letters that you see on these represent certain things. Maybe you guys will ask, why does these tires cost more than other tires? Well, it's usually because of the tread wear, temperature, and the traction. Could also be because the bigger the tires are, the more money they're going to cost to manufacture. And if you have truck tires, for example, the sidewall could have 4, maybe even 6 sidewall layers, which is designed to carry more weight. So those are going to need more rubber, which would drive up the cost. A tread depth gauge, when you push this little piece, you can see this shaft move out here, and there's markings on the side of this in 30 seconds and millimeters. the way this works, for example, here, this 12 has a little line, and this is millimeter. Line right there. Where this sleeve lines up with that line, that's 12 millimeters. And you can see that's from this piece to the tip of this, 12 millimeters. If I go to 30/2 of an inch on this scale, we'll move down to 17. You can see the sleeve intersects right there with the line, and this is 30/2 on this scale. So that is 17 from here to here, 17 30/2 of an inch. This tread depth gauge, and most tire manufacturers will have a tread bar indicator showing when it is 2 30/2 of an inch. So when this tread and this tread is worn down to that wear bar indicator, that means it's time to change the tires. So these little tread bar indicators throughout the tire will kind of give us a gauge on how the tire's wearing, but we also use this tread depth gauge, and we just simply push this down in here, and you can see the shaft there went down to touch the base here, and we're right at the tip of the yellow. Yellow means it's recommended, red is replace, but anything green is acceptable, and we just take multiple measurements across the tire. See, that's a lot deeper, and then as we move over here, because there's some wear on this side, you can see it gets a little thinner. But we take 3 measurements across the tire, 3 or 4 measurements, depending on where I can get access with the tread depth gauge. And then I'm measuring the quality of the tire in terms of the tread depth here. So that's what we do to check for tire tread depth. We have a couple of examples here with simple inflation problems. So you can see the little grooves here on the tread, and these are worn down. And the tread bar indicator is worn in the middle. So this tire has been overinflated. So because the tread is worn down in the middle more than the outsides, and we can see this with our tread depth gauge showing you, hey, we're green, and now we're red in the middle here. And then we move over, and then we're back down. So where it's plenty of tread on the outsides and it's worn in the middle, a simple overinflation error, we've put too much air in this tire, has caused this tire to wear in the middle. This particular tire, you see the tread is worn on the outsides, and the low grooves right here are nice and thick. So as it wears on the outsides of the tires here, this is underinflated. So comparing the two, overinflation where it's worn out in the middle, underinflation, both outsides are worn, is underinflated. Okay, so this tire, you can see it kind of looks a little different type of wear. This is an alignment problem. If I grab my hand and move it across here, it is smooth. But if I move it this way, it feels like little stairs, or it's catching my hand. So this is toe. This is toe wear, where the wheel has been positioned at an angle, and as it goes down the road, it drags the tire across. The tread is being dragged across. So if it feels like it's smooth one direction and it bounces the other direction, and I can move my hand back and forth and feel all kinds of bumps one way and it's smooth another, this is toe. So I would need to align the car to fix this type of tread wear. Now, if the tread is worn a lot, I can't put more tread on there, I just have to replace the tire. So I'd want to fix the toe and then eventually put new tires on. This is an alignment problem. You can definitely see on this one where it's nice and thick from here over, and we're now showing it's bald on the outside. This is camber wear. So the tire is coming in contact on the road at an angle like this, where it's wearing the inside of the tire with camber, or if the tire is positioned on the outside, it would be worn on the outside of the tire. So this is a camber wear, which is another alignment problem. Some things that we want to check on tires as we visually inspect is you can see there's some cracks here. My screwdriver is going inside of the crack. There's a crack there, there's a crack there. These are dry rot cracks. You can see the cracks here. Sometimes there's cracks right here with the tread. Sometimes there's cracks on the sidewall. So when we inflate the tire, those cracks will leak air. So this tire's condition isn't going to withhold the air. It's not going to, it's going to leak out air. So we want to check tires for cracks. If there's any bulges, maybe there's a big bulge right here on the sidewall of the tire, that's not safe. So cracks, bulges, even though the tread wear looks good, we still want to replace that tire, because when we inflate it, it's not going to hold air because of all those little cracks. So we want to check the tire's condition to make sure there's no cracks also. Most tires, manufacturers recommend replacing your tires about every 6 years. Some tire shops won't even repair the tire if there's a nail in it, if it's over 6 years old. So we want to keep nice new tires on our car because this is a safety issue. So if it's cracked, we want to get those replaced. Okay.